chest and then can do whatever he wants to the ball. It's a really incredible technique. But his whole game that he's got now, pace and power and the quality levels. So, yeah, massively important for Chelsea. You see that when he's not playing. He's managed to play more regularly this season, which has been great, but obviously out recently. And, yeah, without picking Thomas's squad for him or his team, I think Reece James is one of the best right-backs in the world, without a doubt. And, want to see him fit and playing again because he's a special player.
So how do you rate our chances at the World Cup, Frank?
Well, I think we've got a good chance, but there's a lot of other good teams in it. This is the age-old question I get about why we didn't win World Cups as a group.
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? Well, the Super Bowl halftime show does exactly that. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest ever in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centrepiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first edition of the Super Bowl was held in 1967, when the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Los Angeles. Because of the sheer size of the event, organisers wanted to put on entertainment at halftime for the fans in the stadium. It was a display of marching bands, dancers and pure USA patriotism, and that was the theme that followed for years. In the 1980s, the Walt Disney Company got involved and we started seeing some interesting and questionable displays. But we got our first glimpse of halftime shows to come in '93, when none other than Michael Jackson stunned fans with his 15-minute medley of his own smash hits. When he walked out on stage, he had to wait for the crowd's cheers to die down for about 2 minutes before even starting his first song. Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan, Phil Collins all starred in their own shows, as did Aerosmith, who performed alongside NSYNC. Things got a little bit out of hand in 2004 when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson produced perhaps the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction in history. Shows from the likes of Prince, Lady Gaga and Beyoncé are considered by critics as the best. To give you an idea of the scale of things, Rihanna's 2023 halftime show included roughly 800 people. These range from backing dancers to stage crew to camera operatives broadcasting to millions around the world. The whole stage for that show was built in roughly 8 minutes and was broken down and cleared away in the same time. The acts perform for free nowadays, even though the experts reckon it costs around $13 million to put on Rihanna's show. Artists know they'll rocket up the charts in the following weeks. Rihanna's average sales improved by 140% in the months following her performance. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Good morning, welcome along to Sunday edition. Arsenal turning the screw on Man City. They've done what they had to do in the title race. Now it's up to Pep's men to take maximum points from their 2 games in hand, starting at Everton tomorrow night. The Tractor Boys have ploughed their way back into the top flight after winning promotion yesterday, which, thinking out loud, is perfect for Ipswich supporter Ed Sheeran. While Ed is celebrating, these are nervous times for Spurs. They can get out the relegation zone if they win at Villa tonight, after the door was opened in their survival fight by West Ham losing at Brentford yesterday. Spurs legend Gary Mabbutt will be with us at 10 a.m. to discuss their plight. And we'll look at all the promotion, playoff, relegation and survival stories across the EFL. We want to hear from you on all the big topics this morning. Text us on 81089, send us a WhatsApp or a WhatsApp voice note on 03717 223344. We're live on YouTube and your smart TV if you want to watch the show. This is Sunday Edition on talkSPORT. Morning, Henry.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Do you see what I did with those Ed Sheeran references there?
Take me back to London.
Oh, back into the top flight after winning promotion, thinking out loud. Perfect.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Anyway.
And how is your castle on the hill, Newcastle? Is it all good?
We're all right. A win's a win, isn't it? Everybody's back in love with Eddie, so we're all happy.
Were you surprised? Because there was a bit of a debate about the team sheet when it came out.
Absolutely rinsing him, weren't there? There were lots of people saying it was a resignation letter.
It was a Ruud Gullit revisited in the derby.
That was the suggestion. I don't think it was quite in that bracket because Azula's played up front quite a bit and scored a few goals. So it wasn't like he was... Lewis Hall, there's something going on there. He's left him out a bit now, and there's something going on.
Any idea what it is?
No, wish I did, but I don't.
But Willock and Murphy worked?
Yeah, I mean, Murphy was better yesterday and been playing particularly. Oh, it's a great cross for the goal, that is.
Yeah.
Did really, really well. So, yes, all in the garden is rosy after the big meeting during the week, which didn't really seem to produce a lot, although Eddie said he had got a bit of a smack around the head, metaphorically.
But on a serious note, can you go almost game to game like this?
It's a bit strange, isn't it?
I mean, I'm talking headlines as much as reality. I mean, the reality might be completely calm within the building, but the narrative seems to sort of change.
It's a bit like with us Newcastle fans, though, isn't it? Yes, we've had a load of defeats, but we've won now, so everything's...
And you're very much Eddie in.
I'm on the fence. I told you, we're going to see how the rest of the season goes.
Really? Again, it's game to game for you?
No, it's see how the rest of the season goes to the end of the season.
Right. And you bring...
The soundings from him certainly was that he's got boardroom support. Do
you know what really came over in his interviews was the word United. He kept on saying... I mean, obviously, Newcastle
They
United,
all say that, though. I had no yesterday. We've got to stick together. What on earth does it mean? If you're a football team, you're all supposed to do the job, win games.
I get that, but if the narrative has been an issue between him and the board, not an issue, but are the board and the owners as completely committed? And he was obviously stressing that there is that togetherness. They are united. And the most important thing is that they're united with the fans.
Yeah, Liam Rossini said that last week as well, didn't he, about the board being 100% behind him. Saw how that ended. Anyway, I think the board's still behind Mikel Arteta because Arsenal, top of the league, 6 points clear. City got 2 games in hand. Arteta, in back page of the Mail on Sunday, says our best yet.
I find any speculation about Mikel Arteta's job security completely bizarre on the basis that he, like Pep, like Unai Emery, is a manager as much as a head coach. I mean, he is dominant within that club and has been increasingly. And if you are the American owners, they look at the money that's coming in from the Champions League and everything else. The fact that Arsenal have, the 4th biggest wage bill and that they are top, he is doing a good job. So, absolutely.
And as the Telegraph says, Arsenal have piled on the pressure on Man City, and they certainly have. It's a little bit harsh on City in some ways because they haven't been able to do anything about it. They've got 2 games in hand and they've got to play catch-up. Would you rather have points in the bag?
Points in the bag.
Yeah. But they were impressive yesterday. I know it wasn't the strongest performance by Fulham. They were quite poor, but after they were nervy last weekend, I was there for that one. It wasn't a great game in the week against Atletico, but they did well.
But this has been a season of not particularly great games, and it hasn't been a great Premier League in terms of quality. But actually, it's a pretty decent title race, and it could come down to goal difference. It could come down to goal difference. And everyone sort of talks about Arsenal set pieces, and obviously they varied them a bit. But actually, some of their flowing football, I thought, was exceptional yesterday in the first half.
We'll talk about Arsenal a little bit more in depth after in the second section of this programme. Back page of the Sunday Mirror, going a bit left field with this one. Definitely maybe Pep. This is that great investigative journalist Liam Gallagher of Oasis saying that having been on the phone to Pep, the indications were that Pep Guardiola will be staying on at City. Look, let's be fair. There has been a lot of will he, won't he stay on after the end of this season. But Liam seems to think it's fine. He'll be there.
I mean, it's quite a good revealing of your source when Liam Gallagher comes out. It's funny that I've just got off the phone with him and he's said the opposite.
No journalistic ethics there from Liam.
It's so emphatic. He doesn't even bother with a full stop at the end of it. He's just making his point. I think that's great. And obviously,
quite funny, isn't it?
It's very funny, and the two of them are close. And it shows the power of social media that a story that can occupy so many, column inches, obviously, or, as you say, all over the back of the Sunday Mirror Sport. He's just addressed there. What's your gut feeling? Pep stays?
Well, now Liam's told me, and let's be fair, he's obviously got a good inside man in Pep Guardiola there. Yeah. Now he's told me it looks like he stayed.
He's had a pep talk, as you would say.
I think he probably does have fancy another season. Now, the problem is, as we always say, 115 charges. Will it come out? Will they be relegated? Probably won't. But then again, they'll appeal, so that'll take over a year.
Well, exactly.
And there's one more year.
Well, first, City deny all charges. Secondly, we know what will probably happen. They'll come out, 2 short statements. Each side will claim some form of victory, and then it'll go to appeal, possibly go to CAS, and then on we go. So Pep's contract will probably finish by the time this actually gets decided, which is an absolute joke for football. It's embarrassing football. And if the figures are true, that the Premier League have already spent 70-odd million on 115, and Manchester City, presumably, I mean, Lord Panic doesn't come cheap. I think it's the money. So it's 100 million plus that is drained out of football, which could be spent on proper ticket prices. I don't know, 3G pitches. How many 3G pitches would you get for that?
Do you think City would have spent it on that?
Well, they would have spent easy. Well, if the Premier League is spending 50 plus 70 million, whatever these figures are, City would have been spending 50, 60 million.
More.
Yeah, probably more. So say minimum 120 million. I'm slightly plucking figures out the air, but lawyers sort of suggest it's in that range. That is such a loss to football. 120 million. You look at the issues in the 72 clubs. It's just a waste of money. Anyway, that is an issue, sadly, that we'll be talking about probably in 14 months' time.
Yeah, when Pep may have left by then. Also,
one other thing about Manchester City, he is rebuilding this team. You look at, you've got some good young players. You look at Kushanov coming in. You've got obviously Trafford.
Yeah, your man Stones on his way as well.
Yeah.
Leaving.
Yeah. Where do you think he'll go, Stones?
Everton.
Really, back to Everton?
Possibly.
Yeah.
The only thing is, when you sign players like that, you really need them, no matter how good they were or how much affection you've got for them, you need them to be fit, don't you?
But you know what's going to happen? John Stones will probably have an absolute storming tournament for England. He's done it. He's done it before. I remember him before the last tournament sitting in the stands at St James's Park before England played there, and then when he had a very good tournament.
Do you think he'd go to the World Cup?
I think if he's fit, 100%.
Well, yeah, but
but if he's fit, I think he goes and he probably starts alongside Gay. But Cons is a good understudy. Anyway, we're rushing ahead.
Down at the bottom, Sunday Mirror's pull out. Hammer House of Horrors. West Ham easily beaten by Brentford. Thumped by Brentford. A very good Brentford.
Very good Brentford.
Stress, but
what a job Keith Andrews has done.
Yes. West Ham, I get, were poor in defence, but they weren't often lucky up front. No. They hit the woodwork. Was it 3 times? Maybe it was 4, but there was certainly 3 that I can remember.
I mean, Mavropanos defending for the first Juve's tackle, for the second, the penalty. I mean, and actually they'd steadied the boat a little bit at the back. So, very frustrating.
Your man Mads directing operations, who came out about 60 yards. And
I thought he was almost going to be offside. He was so far forward. I just knew
score for that one if they'd scored that one.
Look, actually, he's done pretty okay recently.
I thought that was a bit of a surprise, West Ham. They'd shown a little bit of fight recently. But as you say, they've been beaten by what is a very, very good Brentford side.
Yeah. Does it tip it slightly back Spurs' way?
You feel like it. Yeah. But I mean, we'll be talking about this later, but going to Aston Villa tonight is no easy task.
No.
Is it? But they'll take heart from that, won't they?
You got time for one more?
Go on.
Isak. I think we should do that. The Isak.
Oh, no, I've got it here. Isak out of... I'm holding... Yeah, there you are. Isak out of crunch game against Man United.
I think that's a big talking point. I mean, look, as a Newcastle fan, you would know...
what's that got to do with it anymore?
Well, on the basis you saw...
Well, he was injured a lot.
3 groin injuries at Newcastle. He was out for 3 months with a thigh injury. I mean, this season he's had 4 games with an adductor, the groin, and obviously 22 games with a broken fibula.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously that was.
Well, has he come back too early? Has he not been able to get over it properly, do you think?
Is that right?
Well,
yeah.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean,
is that part of the problem that he's rushed himself?
It's a fair point, but it's a frustrating season for him.
He will have been wanting to rush back as well because he wants to go to the World Cup. There's a touch of the Michael Owens here. Get ready, try and be ready for the World Cup.
Yeah, he will go to the World Cup, won't he?
Yeah, but he wants to get a few games in, and this isn't...
Can I say, he needs to focus on Newcastle first?
Liverpool.
Sorry, Liverpool.
Yeah, that's a bit, rewind a year, maybe. But now at Liverpool. And they were hopeful, weren't they, of getting him up front, giving him a run to the end of the season and showing what's possible for next season with him and Ekitike up front. And now, look, back in a mess.
So what they do, play Gakpo up front and
in the short term. But what does this mean long term, this sort of injury record?
Well, it means that they'll probably go and buy him.
Well, you can't rely if Ekitike goes out and you don't think you can rely on Isak through the season. That's big problems, isn't it?
It is shocking.
It is toughy. So looks like he's out of the game against Man United. The game which earlier on we're here on talkSPORT. He's not really a biggie as Man United Liverpool games go,
but it's still a biggie because it's Manchester United against Liverpool. Biggest clubs in the country, two of the biggest, 5 clubs in the world.
But they're both going to be in the Champions League, so they're not playing for a lot in many ways, except pride.
I mean, pride is it's a short word, but it's a fairly big one in this game. It's huge.
It's not really, is it?
Oh, come on. That's a big game.
I mean, it says me who'll probably put it on the back page.
Well, exactly. 100% you'll put it on the back page.
Yeah. Anyway, coming up next, we'll look back at yesterday's Premier League results, including Arsenal's 3-0 win at home to Fulham.
See, that's the Villa. Can you hear me, Villa? You almost went, hello, beating Gabby Agbon. Oh, can you hear me, Gabby? You almost went, hello, beating Hooters, Villa Park, Bullring. Legs 11. Can you hear me, Legs 11? You almost went, hello, beating Prince Willie, Big Prince Willie. You almost went, hello, beating Andy Townsend, Randy Lerner, Ron Saunders, Dane Saunders, Ron Saunders. Dane Saunders, Ron Saunders, can you hear me, Saunders? You went to win, hello, beating Hooters, Jory Quarter, Cadbury's World, Jack Grealish, Gabby Akbar Lahore, can you hear me, Gabby? You went to win, hello, beating.
Hooters is in Nottingham, by the way.
Hooters, can you hear me, Hooters? You went to win, hello, beating. Hooters, can you hear me, Hooters? You went to win, hello, beating.
Nottingham Forest take the lead.
Hooters, can you?
Oh, mate, come on.
Wait, someone. Hello, beating.
They go to Villa Park next week. 1-0 up. Another UEFA handball, though, leads to a penalty for Chris Wood. Villa fans, did you do enough tonight? It was a bit flat. 03 717 22 33 44. Vito Pereira, though, looking like a really good appointment for Nottingham Forest right now. Get involved in the show. Elsewhere, Crystal Palace. They got the job done. Tough away day against Shakhtar. They are on their way to the final. Massive, massive result for them. What a season they could end up having.
Brentford 3, West Ham 0. Mikael Damsgaard missed a golden chance in the first half, but he's not missed this one. Brentford up to 6th in the table. That would be a European place. It could be a Champions League place.
It's Newcastle 3, Brighton 1, and game over. Harvey Barnes with the goal.
But this is a really bad result for Brighton, who've got a big chance of Champions League football next season.
It finished Wolves 1, Sunderland 1, and there was loud boos from the Wolves fan at full time. No change in the table. Wolves still bottom, Sunderland still 12th, and 4 points from 6.
Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Victor Gyökeres has his second of the first half. Arsenal running riot against Fulham here. Finishes at the Emirates, and Arsenal moves 6 points clear of Man City in the Premier League. This title race is by no means over. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0.
Yep, that was how the Premier League sounded on talkSPORT yesterday. And also, of course, there was Leeds winning on Friday night, beating Burnley 3-1 to power their way clear of the relegation zone. Brentford 3, West Ham 0, Newcastle 3, Brighton 1, Wolves 1, Sunderland 1, and Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. As we referred to earlier on, Arsenal have certainly still setting the pace in the title race. But we thought, and I think a lot of people looked at Victor Gyökeres yesterday and said, yes, now he's getting to grips with it. It's been taking a while, and yeah, he's had some good games as well, certainly since the turn of the year. But that one really nailed it. It was a performance where he just bossed the Fulham defence.
He did. I mean, slightly mitigating factors in terms of Fulham. Were they completely, was there a virus going through the camp? Was that an
Silva
issue?
said that was an excuse.
He said an excuse. But I mean, that's because, that's fair enough that he would say that. But also a point made on Match of the Day last night that Gyökeres has got to do it against the elite teams. Yeah. But having said that, we've seen him, for Sporting
flat track bully.
2024. No, he's not a flat track bully. I mean, he's got a hat-trick against Manchester City when he was at Sporting, so he's clearly got the stability. Look, I'm a big supporter of his, and I have been from the start of his time at Arsenal, because I just think it was a question of Arsenal adapting to him, getting the ball to him in places where he wants it, because his movement is always intelligent. His work rate is exceptional. And when I think you've got a player like Eze on the pitch who can thread those balls through, whether it's for him to run in behind or whether for him to hold up and then play Saka, as he did, which was really good. And people say,
past that.
Yeah, people say, well, he can't hold up the ball or his link play's not so good. Well, I think that showed it. So it's good to see him get an assist on there. But also his movement for the 2 goals was exceptional, very intelligent. So it was a question of slightly him adapting to Arsenal, but also them adapting to him. I also think having a belief in this player, because maybe they didn't associate him with an elite club because he played at Coventry, played at Sporting. It's not as if he's coming from Real Madrid or someone. And actually, they had to trust him and trust themselves to play the ball to him and give him a chance. And I think they are increasingly doing that. Plus, it helps with Saka when he's not cutting inside, he's going round a fullback, and he makes those runs that Gyökeres does.
But when Havertz came back fit, briefly, he was in and Gyökeres was on the bench.
Yeah, I didn't understand that really. I mean, I know a lot of Arsenal fans like Kai Havertz. First, can you rely on him completely with injuries? But he's a completely different player.
He is, but it seems that Arteta prefers playing that way.
Yeah, maybe in certain games, but the pressing.
Maybe use Gyökeres when you play anybody from 10th down in the league and Havertz for the big ones.
Yeah, but that's pretty brutal to say that to an ambitious striker like Gyökeres, who's now got 21 goals this season. When was the last time? It's been a while since Arsenal. It's been 10 years since I think Arsenal have had a regular goal scorer like that. So certainly in attack. So yeah,
could be the difference.
Yeah, and he's obviously very popular. You can see the reaction. I mean, you see all the kids doing the Gyökeres celebration now, and goal difference is going to be important.
I think there's a man at Man City who can help that for them as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, Haaland's the best striker in the country. So
still, even though Gyökeres was very good yesterday.
Yeah, he was. Come on, Gyökeres is not in Haaland's class.
I agree. I'm just trying to wind you up a little bit. Anyway, well done, Arsenal. Comfortable victory. Pretty poor from Fulham, as their manager himself admitted. We touched on earlier as well. Brentford 3, West Ham 0. West Ham, a bit unlucky up front, but terrible defending. And afterwards, manager Nuno spoke to talkSPORT's Alex Crook.
What do you do in this situation when you've played the first game of the weekend, you've lost? Do you bother to watch Tottenham tomorrow night, or do you just try and blank it all together and check the result afterwards?
Personally, I'm going to watch all the games. It's my routine that I do, and I'll be interested in what's happening in the other stadiums, because now it's no longer in our hands. So let's see what's happening today. But more than anything, it's ignoring ourselves, the noise, and reacting to a tough day.
We'll be talking about Spurs a little later on with Gary Mabbott, 10 o'clock. We touched on the fact that West Ham were not at the best defensively. Do you think they'll really suffer for that defeat, or do you think they can regain that belief quickly? It's not easy.
It almost changes game by game when you actually see what they're going through. I mean, you looked at West Ham's recruitment in January and you thought, well, Disassi, he's not a great centre-half, but actually he's done pretty well since he stepped in. Mavropanos is, obviously he was there before, but he's stepped up. The two up front, absolutely, they've helped as well. I mean, you can't put it down to bad luck. Hitting.
No, it was bad
defending,
but they were okay going forward. Is my point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they don't look like a team, or certainly haven't in recent weeks, that fears relegation. You thought of the two, Spurs' body language was more negative, but Spurs have to go and exploit this opportunity that they've been given.
That's no easy task.
No, absolutely. With Villa being as they are.
I wasn't really going to mention Wolves Sunderland at all yesterday, but our old friend Dan Ballard, he ended up in a bit of a controversy like we've had a few of in recent weeks, which was the hair pull and sent off. He protested, but he must have seen what had been going on in previous weeks and that this was a possibility, and it was momentary, but he did it.
Yeah, and of course the cost of it is that it's violent conduct, so it's 3 games. I mean, it's huge.
Should hair pulling have a separate category? Maybe 1 game suspension if you pull somebody's hair.
Whether
it doesn't feel violent conduct,
whether it's a bun or whether it's dreadlocks. I mean, there may be different categories. Look, it's something they've got to look at. I mean, it's clearly different from pulling a shirt. It has to be more of a sanction than that. Yeah.
I mean, you're still preventing a player doing what he wants to do, whatever you pull.
Yeah, but it's part of the body rather than part of the kit.
But I think violent conduct's pushing it.
It is.
Unless you really pull at the hair and really pull somebody at the ground. I mean, it's a touch, isn't it?
Yeah. So whether it's holding or whether it's pulling, and that's where VAR actually has to sort of make the difference. So holding maybe is a yellow card and pulling a more aggressive, assertive action. I don't know. It's something that IFAB clearly going to have to look at. I mean, it was interesting, Rooney on Match of the Day last night saying, I can't believe I'm talking about hair pulls.
No, I know, but when it comes around to summer recruitment, should you sign a load of long-haired players because you'll get the opposition sent off?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, did it happen in the past? I mean, there were a lot of long-haired players in the 70s, but it didn't. They were like the Bay City Rollers out there at times, but it didn't really.
Waddle mullet? I don't really remember it happening.
Grabbing a mullet.
Anyway, well, I mean, Calvert-Lewin was one of those for Leeds, and they were looking good on Friday night, weren't they? Your favourite team, Leeds, one of your favourite teams, looked to have really stormed away from the bottom in the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And credit to Daniel Farko with the changes he made at half-time at the Etihad, which everyone's talking about. I mean, I really like Ampadu. I just think he's a proper leader. I think there's we were talking earlier about whether a club's united. We were talking about Newcastle United. Leeds United are united. You look at the fans and the players, you look at the players and the manager, you look at everyone in the football department and the owners, and it's fantastic. Also, it's really good for English football that the 3, it includes Sunderland in this, that the 3 who go up, at least a couple of, or one of them, now 2 of them staying up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Leeds are closer to the European positions than they are to the relegation position, which shows how concertinaed that central section is.
I was a bit surprised they didn't make the cup final, actually. They didn't play that well.
No, they got a bit... They almost froze a bit.
They did, really. Thought they might make it. Anyway, well done, Leeds. This is Sunday Edition on talkSPORT. Next up, we look back at the conclusion of the EFL as Ipswich are back in the Premier League.
Mikel Arteta obviously hasn't been able to call on Bukayo Saka enough over the course of this period. We know he's had a bit of an Achilles problem. Does he still look to you like he's struggling for a little bit of fitness?
Yes.
And if that's the case, how long is that going to take to sort out?
It's going to need managing between now and the end of the season.
He hasn't had surgery on it, has he?
No, and obviously you've got the World Cup coming up as well, and he's going to be a key man there. I wonder how many minutes he'll get this weekend. He got, 21 plus stoppage time in midweek. You think maybe he might get half an hour, 45, and then possibly start against Atletico Madrid. But it's certainly a problem.
Some of these niggling injuries, though.
Well.
Some of these injuries wouldn't surprise me. Saka's still struggling, Sam. And he's come to the stage where he's come back because it's crunch time for Arsenal, even with an injury. There's so many injuries, Crookie, that injections to get you through it, and then you're sore until you play again. You don't train. So they've got to be careful with Saka. But
that was the idea of having the big squad, wasn't it? That
exactly.
You could afford to rotate a bit more.
When players aren't turning up, Madueke starts the game bright against Atletico Madrid, fades, looks angry when he comes off. I don't know why you don't do enough. Odegaard, your captain, you're not doing enough. Eze's probably been the bright spark in the last few games for Arsenal.
It wasn't a bad result, though, was it?
No, not at all. Oh, great result. Great result. But it's not just this game, Sam. It's the game before against Newcastle. The fans, they're anxious. It showed the fans all through the game against Newcastle. They're biting the nails. After 50 minutes, they're nervous.
It doesn't seem to come easy to Arsenal at the moment. They don't seem to have it in their locker to...
It hasn't come easy to them all season.
To cruise through games and just put teams to the sword, as they did actually with Atletico in the league phase. You know, that 4-0 victory seems a long time in the past.
A surprise, always tears of joy and despair. George Hurst at the edge of the area, slips in Philligy, tries to turn in Bengue and pokes it home. It's 2-0.
Big pressure, big players. Derby County 1, Sheffield United 0. An absolutely rampant start from Derby.
So that puts Derby into the playoffs on 72 points.
No ball in, header in, Smith, Wrexham back in
just like that, the picture changes in the Championship.
3 gone in the second half. Millwall 2, Oxford 0.
Target delivers across for Middlesbrough, and Strellick is there to make it 2-2. And Wrexham drop out of the top 6 again.
Wow, it's Derby 1, Sheffield United 2, City Peck with the second goal.
Oliver Birdie has got his second goal of the game to put Hull, as things stand, into 6th position. Unbelievable how the picture changes all the time here. And it's tucked away. Casey McAteer, they're heading back to the Premier League now. No doubt about it. The full-time whistle has just gone, and Hull City will take the last playoff place.
Yeah. Ipswich promoted from the Championship. They're back into the Premier League. Playoffs are Millwall, Southampton, Middlesbrough and Hull, who sneaked in dramatic fashion. Right, the death there. We already knew Oxford United, Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday relegated. Ipswich back, Henry. Why should we think they'll stay up this time when they didn't the last time?
Well, they've got wealthy backers. They can invest. They've got the experience of last time. They know the roadmap, which can lead to reverse, if you can reverse in a tractor after your ploughing allergy. Let's plough on. Yeah, and look, finishing at this stage of the season allows them early, in inverted commas, allows them to sort of kick into their recruitment and focus on the season ahead. Kieran McKenna, we know, is a very good coach. He keeps on being linked with, occasionally gets linked with other jobs, which he's obviously committed there, but they have to. It's a compliment because he is a very good coach. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I went to see Michael Scribell at Lincoln City, and he was talking, because they obviously got promotion, but he was talking about it's going to be interesting next season with the 8th. He says that's going to create a different dynamic, because you're going to have quite a lot of teams in mid-table towards the end of the season who really fancy the fact they can get into the playoffs, the fact there's 7th and 8th qualify for the playoffs from next season. And that's going to be interesting to see what that does to the January transfer window, whether people decide to actually have a go and invest. So yeah, I mean, it's Wrexham and Derby finished just outside the playoff positions.
Yeah, but, at one point you thought Wrexham might make it. You thought Derby might make it.
Do you know, at one point, until I think they slipped up at Swansea, Norwich City could have had this extraordinary run under Philippe Clement, and fair play to the board for appointing him back. Ben Napper's had a bit of stick, but actually he's got that key appointment right, and Norwich City would have flirted with that possibility of getting that 8th position, if it's 9th eventually. So yeah, I mean, but look, huge credit to Ipswich, but also Coventry. What a season they've had! Some of the football that they've played. Frank Lampard. We always like to see Frank doing well. Like to see homegrown managers doing well, and they're absolutely flying.
Okay, Millwall, Southampton, Borough, and Hull in the playoffs. As I said, who's your money on? Mine's on Southampton. Unlucky for Millwall to just miss out on their promotion, but Southampton still feel like the form side.
I would love to see Millwall in the Premier League, because I think it's the type of, not wake up, but a type of sort of reality check that I think the whole division needs.
What do you mean?
Well, just in terms of a bit of raw energy coming in there. Honestly, didn't you go past Millwall the other day on your grand walk around London?
Yeah. Look, they have a certain reputation, Millwall. Some can say undeserved. They fight hard.
They have a brilliant
community club.
Yeah,
absolutely, they do. But they find it hard to shake off this reputation. Yeah. So when you say that, there will be some fans in the country thinking, I don't want that, even though we're in the area here and we see how much they do in the local community.
Yeah, but then we have to accept that football shouldn't be a sanitised product. You can't completely cut it off. And if they deserve to go up, they absolutely deserve to go up. And actually, you like to see a rotation of teams going into the
okay, so you want Millwall up?
I don't necessarily want Millwall up. I can see the attraction.
It will be them?
I agree with you in terms of, Middlesbrough. I mean, Middlesbrough play good football. Southampton were terrific in their cup run.
Yeah.
You'd love to see them. Their support's fantastic.
So you want all four up?
I actually want 5 up, Shaun, and it will be 6 up next season. Look, I think that's one of the best moments of the year, the playoff final.
So what's your answer? Who's going up out of those 4? I've told you Southampton.
Southampton.
Yeah. League One. The battle for the playoff places was brilliant yesterday. I was keeping a very close eye on this simply because Stevenage is my nearest local league club,
and we love Jack Wilshere.
But we love Jack Wilshere at Luton, and Luton were really close to going up. Plymouth nearly came with a late run under under Cleverly. And it was quite a little battle down there, and Stevenage just sneaked it in. They scored in the 92nd minute. I think Luton scored a late goal to win as well. It was quite lively.
Cleverly was under a bit of pressure at one point.
It was, and then it went on an incredible run, but they missed out while Exeter went down. Just in the playoffs, Stockport, Bradford, Bolton, Stevenage. I mean, there's some formidable teams in that lot, and I have a feeling that Stockport will do it again.
Yeah, do you have a soft spot for Stevenage being one of your many local teams?
Because they're my nearest local team. Yeah, but
I thought Newcastle had a fallout with Stevenage.
Yeah, I know, but it's my nearest team, and I do go and watch them from time to time. But I do. I got to know Jack Wilshere very well when he was a columnist for us, talking about World Cup and Euros, and I really want him to do well in his coaching career. So I would have been quite happy for Luton to make the playoffs as well. But I think it's going to be Stockport County.
Agreed.
However, down at the bottom, Leyton Orient just stayed up. They secured their status for another season. But manager Richie Wellens really let his team know how he felt. Have a listen to this.
I've come out a couple of times and had a go at our supporters in the past. I'm going to apologise for him now, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I've done it. Okay, so we've got a weak group, really, really weak. Okay. And when our supporters give them criticism, I try and take the criticism off them, so then it comes at me, okay? Then the supporters come at me to try and take it away from the players. Then week in, week out, especially the last 6-7 weeks, we get served up with rubbish. We had relegation written all over. We've had to wait for somebody else to get a result for us. We concede from another set play because we lack leadership. We concede numerous goals just before half-time. So I told them the fact that they want to celebrate and walk around, I'd clap the fans because they've earned it, okay? They've paid the money all season to come and watch us home and away, and they deserve to be clapped. But then don't be celebrating with your family. Get off the pitch. It's been an embarrassing season. Too many players have wasted 10 months of their career, wasted my time. I've had 1 year of my managing career that I've wasted on them players, wasted. And then we've wasted the supporters. We've not given them enough days to turn up to, not enough days, not enough good days. And we can play poorly, but run, fight, be more intent.
Wow, blimey. Not sure Richie and the squad will be going on holiday together post-season. In fact, it doesn't sound like many of them will be staying at Leyton Orient if he has his way.
I mean, one thing, an element of context. I mean, that was a part of a wider interview in which he sort of expanded on that, and you almost need to hear the whole thing to sort of understand the points he was making. It wasn't a complete throwing the team under the bus.
Well, it sounds like it.
There was sort of slightly mitigation in terms of exactly where under the bus he was throwing. It was slightly more targeted than this. But absolutely, I mean, it wasn't simply what he said, but the edge, the anger, the frustration.
You like that? You call that refreshing?
I do. I absolutely like that. Well, sorry, you're a journalist. What does it like people being outspoken?
Absolutely. But what do you think it means from next season? Because there'll be players possibly who are still under contract at that club who won't take this very well.
But don't you think he's the type of individual who would also have made those same comments in the dressing room?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't think then if he's done that first, i.e. told them in the dressing room and then obviously told the media, then I think that's fair enough. Why not? There's nothing wrong with being called out if your boss has got a point. And they owe it to the fans, as the point that he made.
Now then, in League Two, Bromley became the champions yesterday. Well done, Andy Woodman and his team, sneaking out ahead of MK Dons, while Max Rush don't be delighted that Cambridge were promoted. Playoffs, Salford, Notts County, Chesterfield and Grimsby. Salford just missing out. They couldn't get the win they needed. Who's going up in the playoffs? Salford, Notts County, Chesterfield, Grimsby.
I mean, it's so tight. What, 2.3 points between them? I mean, it's crazy. Do you know what always amazes me? Well, it doesn't amaze me because we know how obsessed people are in this country. But the attendances. I mean, Notts got 16 yesterday. Swindon got 12.
They're from a top flight team.
No, I get
founding fathers. They should get a good.
I get all that, but you could actually say, well, hang on, what's more impressive? 25,000 in the top division or 16,000 in the fourth tier. I mean, that is loyalty, particularly when you've got your neighbours, 200 yards away, or a bit of a swim away, competing for a European final. There must be that frustration. So I think it's magnificent when you just see this support.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Grimsby to sneak it. They've got into the playoffs, and I think they might just nick it there as that playoff.
Tractors and trawlers.
They're relegated Harrogate and Barrow, which is probably what those two deserved. They spent most of their time down in the down in the bottom two. But one of your old mates, Christian Fuchs, managed to keep Newport County up 10 years after Leicester won the title.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been ironic. I mean, living near Leicester, you just see all these celebrations of 10 years and all the pictures, you know, Robert Huth posting pictures of him in Vardy's kitchen and all the quiet evening in watching the football with the lads, #fun. I mean, and that was 10 years ago. And absolutely right, they should celebrate. But what a counterpoint to the total mess that Leicester City are in at the moment. Talking of clubs in a mess but getting out from this, can we just have a quick word for Sheffield Wednesday? What a day.
No point. They got back to 0.
But they are a club with many points. And did you see they did the countdown of the 15-point deduction went down to 0 at Hillsborough? And new owner in. Good luck with the new owner. You know you're a custodian of this great club. You've got the fans on side. Credit to everyone who has worked so hard to get them there. Chansiri, good riddance. And let's make sure that in the future, owners not simply tested when they come in, but that they have the money and they're tested throughout their tenure.
Hopefully brighter times ahead for Sheffield Wednesday next.
They deserve it.
This is Sunday Edition on talkSPORT, and next up it's our Sunday Edition feature, Best of the Best.
You seem to think that there is some connection between the nationality of the Forest manager and the nationality of the official.
You can't go.
You can't go doing that on social media and not expect us to bring it up.
No. What I said was, should we look into that? I'm not saying that's the reason, but VAR official was Portuguese, not the referee. The referee, he had a fantastic game, by the way. The ref, I thought. Maybe he didn't see that incident, but for VAR official, his name is Tiago Martins, Portuguese referee. For him to not tell the ref to come and look at the screen of that tackle, I was very disappointed in. Listen, first of all, Elliot Anderson was the best player on the pitch.
What about the nutmeg on Rodgers?
I know, that's his mate as well. And he's posted it on his socials as well. But no one can tell me that watches football week in, week out, that's not a red card. Because did he get the ball first? You can argue yes. But we've seen so many players get red cards in the last 2 years when you follow through and you hit a player like that. Watkins stayed down, the ball went out of play. How can the referee not be told to go to VAR? Baffling.
I think you're absolutely right, but I also don't think Aston Villa were good enough in the game.
Oh, 100%. I'm not making excuses for Villa's performance. Buendia, soft player, not good enough for Aston Villa. Onana, made out of straw. 26 Premier League games you played last season, missed 12 games, played 24 Premier League games this season, injured again.
This is Sunday Edition live on talkSPORT this Sunday morning. Don't forget, Gary Mabbutt's coming up. Spurs legend at 10 o'clock. Talk about their play. I want to read out a couple of texts here. Hair pulling, which we talked about earlier on, about Dan Ballard. There's a great clip from the 1972 FA Cup final where Alan Clark cheekily pulls Charlie George's hair when they stood in the wall for a free kick. That would be a straight red today. Back then it was a bit of... Yeah.
Charlie did have a good long head.
But would you be booked before the free kick was taken? Could you be sent off for pulling the hair? This is a technical issue. I'm not sure if you could.
I mean, they didn't even have VAR then. I mean, it was Pathé News and a black and white 3-1.
I don't remember that one, but you do?
No.
No. Well, even you're a man of your age. No. Anyway. Boys, criminally avoiding talking about how well the unfashionable Hull have done to get into the playoffs despite a transfer ban and an unknown manager in his first season. You keep talking about the clubs. We always talk about it. Shame on you, Alex in Hull.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, you've had your say, quite right. Ollie McBurney, a couple yesterday, I think. Would he get in the Scotland squad?
Is it 19 goals now? I mean, it's terrific. By the way, I was listening to Dance's commentary on Ipswich. Brilliant commentary. The way he juggled.
No,
but the way he juggled it. Bringing in all the other results and also the energy. And when QPR were trying to get back in the game, it was brilliant. I love Dance.
Really good.
He's good on drums, good on the microphone.
Yes. Loads more to come in the show, including some big Premier League fixtures at both ends of the table. But now it's time for this.
One of the greatest tries ever scored, but she won't get there. Kaylee Hodgkinson is the Olympic champion.
I'm going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Oh, Stephen Harmison, one of the great balls.
Double 12! Oh, my word!
Best of the best on Sunday edition.
I think I'm a special one.
I think he's done it! Yes! You beauty!
Let's be having you!
On talkSPORT.
Yeah, best of the best. Our Sunday feature. Henry and I choose a different topic each week and decide what we think is the best of that particular subject. And today we're talking about the most bonkers games of football me and Henry have been to. This is in honour of PSG 5, Bayern Munich 4, which was probably a bit more than bonkers. It was technically brilliant. It was a fantastic goals. You thought they were going to score every time they went back and forward up the pitch. But bonkers all the same. And great fun.
Great fun.
Great fun for the neutral, and we know how neutral you are.
I mean, I was surprised by the sort of the focus, and ex-players, they're going to focus on the defensive issues, and I could understand that because they're former professionals, and they'll say, well, defending wasn't great. But actually, you've got some very good defenders on view. I mean, Marquinhos being turned inside out. They were. So you just have to celebrate the attacking, and everyone talks about it's a counterpoint to the Premier League and all that. Those are two teams from two countries that do have a winter break. I know you think it's boring, but it is.
Bring a winter break into this. This was just a celebration of great.
But you're a tabloid sports editor who worries about what he's going to put on his back page for 2 weeks.
Well, they had no winter break back in 2013 when we were talking about bonkers games, and me and Henry, when we were talking before the show, both went for this game as probably one of the most bonkers games we've ever seen, and it was West Brom 5, Man United 5. And when I tell you there was a Lukaku hat-trick in there, you probably think, was that for Man United? No, it wasn't. It was for West Brom. United were 3-0 up, then they were 5-2 up, finished 5-5, and it was Fergie's last game as Man United boss. So he probably wanted to deliver the hairdryer in the dressing room afterwards, but he was leaving.
Well, first he got a cake from West Brom, which was a fantastic cake, which I actually think had a bit of icing.
Was it his 1500th game as well?
It was his 1500th game, and obviously it was his last game. But actually, I remember writing about it at the time and said, actually, it was a very fitting result. Because if he'd had a win, everyone said, well, it was just about wins, but actually he really had to fight. And the fact that West Brom in Fergie's, sort of almost like his tribute match, almost like a testimonial match, and the atmosphere
they'd already won the league by some distance.
They had, but the fact that other teams were prepared to fight just actually made Sir Alex's achievements even greater, because nothing was handed to him apart from a cake.
It was a great fun game because I went along thinking, you can already write 600 words of Fergie to start with tribute last game, saluted the fans, and then suddenly we had 10 goals in the middle of all this, and you go, what the heck?
We almost had to list them, the goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then I was thinking, how on earth is Fergie going to react at the end of this? Will he actually say, that's not the way I wanted to go? They were a disgrace giving it the bit of Richie Wellens at the end, but he couldn't. It was fun. And then when I was also going through bonkers games, I found 3 in the same season that we both attended. And it's the season Man City won the title, the Aguero game. But it started off, Man United 1, Man City 6. First of all, we had Man United 8, Arsenal 2 in August 2011. Then we had Man United 1, Man City 6. And it finished with Man City 3, QPR 2. All 3 of them pretty bonkers, but the Man United 1, Man City 6 one I want to focus on simply because it was the week when Balotelli had set fireworks off in his own house, and he showed the T-shirt "Why Always Me," and then of course had a really influential part in an amazing game. Johnny Evans was sent off. To be fair, so it did change the dynamic slightly. And that fella Edin Dzeko, this is 2011, scored 2. We'll see him at the World Cup.
Yeah, age 40.
Yes, but that was a bit out of nowhere. That result, wasn't it? They were obviously both vying for the title at the start of the season.
Did you ever interview Balotelli?
I've been not one-to-one, but I've been there where he's decided he is going to talk. And
really interesting guy.
But he sort of pleads, wiles me with a glint in his eye, knowing exactly why it was always him.
Because he's got a firework in one hand.
Yeah.
Was it actually him? Was it?
Was it a friend who set a firework off in his house?
Yeah, I mean, my one experience of fireworks, and I have to. Well, there were a couple of winters in the gunpowder plot. It's about the only sort of dramatic thing we've done.
Were there?
Yeah, well, I know.
Oh, that's a whole section in itself.
Yeah, so Thomas and Robin. Anyway,
love for Guy Fawkes.
No, but the one thing I do know about fireworks, apart from it didn't end particularly well for those two. I think they got hung, drawn, and quartered, and semied, and full-timed, and probably VAR. Is they tend to be outdoors. Whereas I think letting off indoors is don't.
Certainly plenty of fireworks there were from Man City winning 6-1. And as I say, that season it started with Man U 8, Arsenal 2, which I have discussed before, and it was pretty amazing stuff, which included Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's debut for Arsenal, and Arsenal falling apart a bit, and a bit of a shambles, really. As I say, finished with Man City 3, QPR 2, which was one of the...
I've got some more bonkers ones for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
Can we do 2012, Reading 5, Arsenal 7? So Arsenal, I remember being there, Arsenal 4-0 down at the Majeski. The travelling fans were chanting, "We want our Arsenal back." And suddenly they stormed back into it, and they made it 4-4. And the reason why it was particularly crazy was that two of the players, Olivier Giroud and François Coquelin, thought 4-4, replay, fantastic, took their shirts off, went over to a slightly bemused but still delighted away following, and threw their shirts into the crowd. Turned around, jogged back, and immediately one of the subs ran over to Giroud and said, "By the way, mate, there is extra time." And so they had to slightly shamefacedly go back. Surprised they weren't booked, and actually asked the fans, "Can we have our shirts back, please?" And they won 7-5 in the end. That was an occasion.
7-5.
Yeah, nice easy runner.
And we did quickly want to sneak this one in because we were both at this one. Liverpool 4, Arsenal 4, 21st of April 2009. Arshavin 4.
Our old friend Arshavin, who we met for the first time about 3 days after the transfer window closed, and the transfer was still going on, and he was explaining about the snow and the fax machines.
Brought him around the press room, didn't they?
Brought him around the press room. They were the most laconic guy. So still playing in sort of UEFA games. What absolute brilliant character.
Strange player, wasn't he? Because he had so much skill, but it just didn't quite...
Have you ever spoken to him?
He'd be a cult hero, I think you'd call him.
He's a total cult hero. But if you speak to him...
we talked to him there.
Yeah,
but very friendly.
But you don't necessarily speak to him about football. He's a really interesting character. You can talk to him about a range of things.
Gunpowder plots.
Gunpowder plots.
But that was an extraordinary game. Liverpool actually equalised right at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Liverpool 4, Arsenal 4. It was fantastic. And there are loads of bonkers games. I'm sure you've all got your own bonkers games involving yours club. That's mine and Henry's, because the ones we were actually at, I could name lots of other ones.
Press games.
Yeah, plenty of those with me and you in defence, which we don't want to talk about. Next up, we'll chat Spurs with legendary defender Gary Mabbutt as they look to climb out the relegation zone.
Let's squeeze one more in. Here's the fourth.
Morning, Shaun. Ali here, big Arsenal fan.
I know you love a curry just like me, but I want to know, what's the best order at a curry house for Shaun Dice?
Ali, it's a fair shout. Well, it always starts with Kingfisher or Cobra, obviously. Poppadoms, standard. Mixed platter sometimes. I do the full mixed grill kind of platter. But not for me. I mean, what I do, get it on the table. Everyone has a munch. Everyone dives in. I do like the hot ones. If I'm in the mood, which is rare because it's so hot, is a chicken tikka or a prawn naga, which is incredibly hot. Jalfrezi, still hot, but, manageably hot. But now and again, you just want something a bit of flavour, even like something soft like a butter chicken mixed with a bit of naga. You get that going on, and you're really on to a winner then.
Yeah.
Pilau rice, I like normally on mushroom rice. Garlic coriander naan. Now and again, a chili naan, depending on what food I'm having. Onion bhaji. Anything else that's on the go, I just love it on there because I do love a pint and a curry. It's my
I like a bit of mehdi gosht, and you've got to have dal. You've got to have taka dal. You just
Custis, I'm going to tell you, Custis' lad. I had a curry with Custis and a couple of beers one night in Fletch, and his lad ordered a Peshwari night. Now I ain't doing it. I ain't having it. So I just absolutely ruined it. I said, your lad, I said, he needs to have a look at himself. Fruit in a bit of bread, come on.
Yeah. I tell you what, you also need for the ideal Indian, and we had this at the Lowestoft Tandoori.
Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
If this weekend West Ham win and Spurs don't, so they're 5 points, both played the same amount of games, Spurs are gone.
Obviously, they've lost Xabi Simons to a really unfortunate injury. Dominic Solanke might not play again.
The most important challenge now is to silence the voice inside of us.
With the responsibility, with the task, collective individually to do, we can't even be in the position like they are.
But it is advantage to the East Midlands in the battle with the West. Aston Villa conceding a penalty.
It's a tight one going back to Villa Park. They didn't offer as much as I thought they would, actually, Villa on the night.
Top 5 Champions League football, amazing. Head of Chelsea. Look at the money Chelsea spent compared to Villa. But for the fans and for the manager, not winning Europa League is an absolute disaster.
Yeah, we're all lined up for Aston Villa v Spurs, 7 o'clock tonight. Spurs can climb out of the relegation zone with a win against Aston Villa. They beat Wolves 1-0 last weekend. But of course, Aston Villa can seal Champions League qualification if they win, which gives it some jeopardy and makes it all more difficult for Spurs. So how is the legendary former Spurs defender Gary Mabbott feeling about it all? Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Shaun. Good morning, Henry.
Good morning, Gary.
It was a pleasure to be on with you.
Thank you for joining us, Gary. Are you relaxed or are you very edgy and nervous?
To be honest, Shaun, I think outside of the club, there's a lot of negativity. But I've been at the training ground and the optimism, the positivity amongst the staff, amongst the players. So, I mean, I think we're quite chilled around around the training ground and getting ready for the game. I think Roberto's come in and done a fantastic job in basically playing players in their best positions, not giving them any magical, difficult tactics that we learn to. Very simplistic formations, but he's getting the team to go out there. And what I saw in the Brighton game, the best game we played this season, was that actual desire and that spark in their eyes to go out there and get victory. So, yes, 4 games to go. But the way this Premier League is going, guys, any team could beat anyone on any given day. So we've got to go out there and give it everything, and fingers crossed we get the results.
What you said there, Gary, was actually De Zerbi's message the other day, wasn't it? Stop thinking like we've already been relegated. Why is there all this negativity around the place? That doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. He's trying to spread the positive message, and clearly you've been down there trying to do the same.
No, absolutely. And, what it is we need now is that, say, the players to go out there, they know full well it's one of the most important games in the club's history, these next 4 games. People talk about their 4 FA Cup finals. They're more important than that. We are fighting to stave off relegation and remain our status in the Premier League. And that is vital for a club like ours. And the players know exactly that. To go out there, 100% effort, desire, determination, passion, spirit and fight. And they'll get the full support of the crowd and hopefully get the victories that we need.
Gary, there's obviously a focus on the injuries: Kudus, Kulusevski, Odobert, Romero, Davis, Vicario, Solanke. But actually, if you look at, I'm guessing obviously at the starting lineup, but Kinski, Porro, Danso, Van de Ven, Udogi, Bentancur, Polina, Kolomoani, Gallagher, Tell and Richarlison. I mean, that is not a team that really should be struggling down the bottom of the division. What do you think is behind it? Is it individual? Are there enough leaders in the team?
No, that's a very good question. I think throughout the game at the moment, there are very few leaders. I mean, look at Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool. But you go through most of the teams. I mean, they're not the leaders they used to be. And just mentioned there, it shows how big a squad that we have got. People talk about our injuries. Footballers and the clubs are very stoical about injuries. It happens. Every club will get it. You have to deal with it and move on. And you believe in the players you've got within your squad. You just mentioned players there. Of course, Moani. I mean, what a quality player. You got Matis Tell, who like PSG pays 70 million for him. You got Richarlison, who leads the Brazilian attack. You got in the midfield there. You got Bentancur, Basuma. You got Polina. You got Conor Gallagher. You got Mickey van der Ven at the back. I mean, we have got a very good squad.
Should be winning the title, Gary.
Well, exactly. But the thing is, they've got to go out there. And I said, a lot of this season, I've been seeing the players coming out for matches, and they look like they haven't quite got an idea what exactly their role is within the team. And that's been important for Roberto, playing players in best positions. But, we have got a great opportunity now. It is now in our own hands. And we're going up to Villa today. I'm travelling up this afternoon, so hopefully it should be a good game, and hopefully fingers crossed for a good result.
Gary, from your perspective, the centre halves obviously missing Romero. Van de Ven, we know he's good. We know the pace. Danso got a bit of stick, and the club and the players were rightly and quickly very supportive of him. What's your take on the centre halves? Because Tottenham have always had great centre halves.
Well, to be honest, I think people talk about Mickey van der Ven and Romero, and I think as a partnership, if on top of their games, they're one of the best, I think, partnerships around. But of course, with all the injuries that we've had and players being suspended for getting silly red cards, Kevin Danso is more than a capable replacement. And Kevin has come in there. What I like about Kevin, generally, Kevin is he's a very good defender. He defends well. And of course, that last-minute goal against Brighton that he conceded was a big mistake. He should have just cleared it into. He's the sort of player who puts it into the stands. And unfortunately, it didn't happen on that occasion. But that's all behind us now. I mean, Shaun and Henry, what's gone behind us now? We cannot change. We can't change this season. Cannot change the 3 different managers this season. It's all behind us. What we've got now is 4 games in front of us that is in our own hands to go out there and to do everything humanly possible by these chaps to win these games. And that's what the message being given through to the players. And as I say, there's a lot of optimism. And given the situation that we are in, I mean, if you're neutral, what a fantastic season it's been. I mean, at the top there, Arsenal, Man City fighting it out. Arsenal gone 6 points clear now after their result yesterday. And there's us and West Ham at the bottom fighting it out. Leeds and Forest, they got 12 points out of their last 6 games. I mean, for teams fighting relegation, that's remarkable. But now it's in our own hands. We'll go out there, as I say, give everything we've got, have the full support of the crowd, and let's hope we can turn things around.
Gary, you're remarkably upbeat, and I understand you wanted to be optimistic, etc. But people on the outside looking in at Spurs see Ange sacked at the end of last season, Thomas Frank coming in, sacked, Igor Tudor hardly lasted very long, sacked, De Zerbi comes in. That looks like chaos.
Well, as I said, it's been a chaotic season for us. You mentioned all the injuries, youngsters coming through the ranks. We've got some great players like Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gray. But yes, if you look over this season, it has been, I think we've had 3 different managers this season so far. And that's not good enough. We've had 2 wins at home. We've got 11 points at home in all of our games. And we got 23 points away from home. I mean, it's remarkable. In the home table, we're 1 from bottom with Burnley at the bottom. In the away table, we're 7th in the league, just behind Liverpool. And that shows what a topsy-turvy season it has been. But yes, things have to be got under control. Things have to be looked at. But at the moment, we can't do that until we get out of this fight with relegation. That's what's on our minds at the moment. Until we get that all sorted out, until we know exactly what we're dealing with, then hopefully we can then look forward positively.
Gary, there's obviously been a lot of movement in the corridors of power at Tottenham Hotspur. When you think of former players like yourself and Glenn Hoddle, whenever I listen to you and Glenn Hoddle, I think of people who care, genuinely have no agenda, care genuinely about the team and the club, but also have a lot of sort of expertise and experience and knowledge to offer. Does the club tap into your expertise?
Well, obviously, we are there all the time. Myself and Ozzy Ardiles and Ledley King are global club ambassadors. And of course, Glenn Hoddle's at most of the games, obviously. So we're always around there. But generally, I think it's been a case over the last number of years that the powers that be have brought in their own people in the hierarchy, brought in top people that they believe in to come in there and to do their jobs. And so, yes, I mean, we are there if required, but no, none of us have a day-to-day, obviously, on-board involvement. Having said that, obviously, global club ambassadors, I'm at the training ground quite a lot. We do a lot of work there with the academies, and of course now they got the women's team at our training ground as well. So there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that we're all involved with, but no real direct communications with the first team now.
Be honest, Gary, how much were you cheering when Brentford beat West Ham 3-0 yesterday?
Well, no, obviously I watched the game, and obviously some fantastic performance from Brentford. Going into the game, I thought that West Ham had a great opportunity. Brentford are on the back foot. They lost their last 5 games or something silly and hadn't won. Going there, I thought that West Ham had a great opportunity because they've been playing so well. Watching them play, I mean, Jared Bowen, Somerville, they make the team tick. And it didn't quite happen for them. Didn't happen for them yesterday. But as you say, thankfully for us, it's put us in a position now whereby after their defeat, that we've got a great opportunity of going out there today at Aston Villa and getting a positive result.
A very optimistic Gary Mabbott, who's done the team talk for them, I think. Good luck, Gary. Enjoy this evening.
Cheers, Shaun. Thanks, Henry.
Good luck.
He was upbeat.
He was very upbeat, but it's a serious point.
Based on much, though, really. Is there a reason to feel upbeat about Spurs, do you think?
Well, they've got a very good coach. They do have some good
players. You told me about Thomas
and
Frank. No, but you did. I mean,
and absolutely, and it didn't work out for him. Whether he froze, whether he didn't realise this isn't Brentford. With respect to Brentford, this is different ambitions, different expectations, different pressures. But I do find it strange when you do have someone of Gary Mabbott's experience, when Glenn Hoddle, as he says, is a lot of the matches doing his media work. When you've got Ledley King, Ozzy Ardiles, individuals like that. That is football expertise, hundreds, probably thousands of appearances throughout football. Tap into it.
What do you want them to do?
Well, I mean, do the people who've been brought in, the Lewis family, how much football knowledge, expertise do they have? Whatever we think of Daniel Levy, and you and I were critics of him down the years, partly through lack of communication to supporters, actually, he kind of did understand the game.
Yeah. He did. Villa v Spurs is a talkSPORT exclusive. That'll be presented by Reshman Chowdhury, commentary from Sam Matterface and former Liverpool midfielder Charlie Adam. This is Sunday Edition on talkSPORT with Shaun, Custis and Henry Winter. And next up, we'll look at Chelsea with former player Gus Poyet.
So we'll talk Watford in a moment because you two have got a common interest in that. But let's talk Manchester United manager for a moment. Do you think Michael Carrick is a shoo-in now? Should he be a shoo-in?
Probably, yeah, probably. I think his job was to come in, settle it all down, get them playing with a bit more confidence, a bit more freedom, and I think that's exactly what he's done. And I think if you try and look at some of the alternatives, I just would struggle to see who could get a better tune out of Manchester United. They've got a good team, Man United. They've got good players. It's just about getting them out there and not worrying about the weight of playing for Manchester United, and that's what Carrick has done. So I just think it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you do it now?
I mean, their expectations at the start of the season, Shaun. The maximum expectation or hope would have been Champions League. So he's achieved that. What more could he have done?
Yeah, no, I agree. And what Ben was saying there, I mean, you get put in the role. I mean, I got a bit of stick. I did with Keno their podcast, and I said about Amaron, I said, well, if you simplified, did a 4-4-2, I'm sure win more games. And Carrick's gone in there and he has simplified it. He's got the round pegs in round holes. They've signed some really good players before he took over. But he's gone in, it seems to me, from the outside, he's gone in, simplified it. Brought a bit more of a structure to it, a simple structure. And it seems to me, Jeff, this is from the outside, by the way, I must make that clear, but it seems to me, give them a framework to work from. They've got very good players anyway, and it seems to be a bit more freedom in what they're trying to do.
This is Sunday Edition with myself, Shaun, Custis and Henry Winter. We were talking about crazy games in Best of the Best. We did sort of stipulate that me and Henry had to be at them, but Scotty says, what about 23rd of January 2016? Norwich 4, Liverpool 5. Klopp losing his glasses in the final goal celebration. What a game. He said, were you at that one?
No, I'm not sure I was.
Or what about Charlton 7, Huddersfield 6? The Addicts were 5-1 down with 27 minutes left, says Ryan, the Charlton fan.
We're going to have to do this again.
Goodness me, we certainly do. Anyway, time to switch to Chelsea now. Callum McFarlane takes charge of his first Premier League game in his second spell at Chelsea interim boss. The world champions are now in the FA Cup final, so it's an absolute shambles, obviously. They host Nottingham Forest tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And I'm delighted to say we're joined by Gus Poyet, former Chelsea midfielder, now managing in Saudi Arabia. He was, of course, Spurs at one time too, but for this purpose, we're talking Chelsea. Gus, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, very well. Nice talking to you, boys.
And you. Looking on from afar, I presume you're afar. Are you in Saudi? What have you made of Chelsea's season?
Well, it's very strange. I tried to say it a couple of times. I'm the kind of person as a coach that I like to have a very good line from the top of the club, from the owners, from the chairman, from the sport directors to come out and explain exactly what the team is trying to achieve, the way, how long. So then everybody is in the same boat. You know, at the moment, there is people that are still thinking that Chelsea is buying young players. That was 4 years ago with Frank Lampard. So they are no more young, okay? And also that they need to look for a specific coach because of whatever reason, where there is no identity. So it's a little bit uncomfortable for the coaches, I think, and that one take us to the position where they are now. I don't remember a so bad run of games in the league like the one that unfortunately finished with the job of Liam, but we see. I mean, it's unpredictable. I cannot see something happening for good or for bad.
But however chaotic it ever is at Chelsea, they do something which a lot of clubs would kill for, and that is they win trophies no matter how they go about it.
But yes, but I agree with you totally. But why do you sack the manager after winning European competition and the World Cup? I mean, it's difficult to explain. When we lose, we deserve the sack. I always say it. Like, fair enough, get me out, bring somebody else. But when you win, there is another issue now. Is relationship, is sports science, is players need to play depending on the medical. It's always something, no? And then you change, and then when it looks like, okay, you're going to go in a different direction with a different kind of manager, also you get the bad run, but being in the FA Cup semi-final, which give you the chance to go to a final and win another trophy, and again you change. So it's difficult. I think it's difficult for coaches. At the end we're going to become like the situation of Roberto De Zerbi at Spurs, where, okay, I'm going down, I maintain my contract, go 5-year contract, you pay me 5 years, millions and millions, and then I go. If no, I don't go. I wait until the summer. Chelsea is going to be the same. I mean, we're talking about big names. I know there is always someone who's going to take it anyway. But, if he's a really high coach, he will say, okay, give me 4 years, and you pay me the 4 years if you sack me after 3 months. And you cannot be spending 15 million, 20 million, 50 million in coaches, because that's not the right way. You will never improve. So that's the situation that for me as a coach, it hurt me, and also as a Chelsea fan.
Gus, as a coach and as a former midfielder at the club, how do you balance Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer? I know Cole Palmer plays off the right a lot, but how do you effectively got 2 10s there? I know Enzo is more sort of an attacking 8, but he does like to make those runs into the box. They're obviously 2 exceptional players, but can you balance the two of them?
It's a very good question, and I'll tell you why it's a very good question. My biggest mistake in football as a coach, it was at Real Betis. I had very good individual players, and I tried to play them all together, and it didn't work. It didn't work, and then I got sacked. So I blame myself for not being able to leave one big name out and perform. And if you perform, you play. Now, And remember that in the national team of Argentina, Enzo plays as number 6. Now, you control the ball, you go change of position when McAllister with all the players, they play a different style. But after seeing Palmer last year, who was the most influential player in the Premier League, to have to play him on the right because you have 2 100 million players in midfield, it's strange, at least. I mean, you first accommodate your best player and then you see which system you can play. But I don't think it's a problem to play with Caicedo sitting and Enzo and Palmer. Enzo more box to box, Palmer more closer to the box. It's a matter of finding a way. But putting another midfielder, then it will become the problem. And that's what Liam was trying, to have 2 6s sitting. Different way of coaching, but you need to be careful sometimes when you pick your best players and not your best team, which is the most important.
So tell me, Gus, how's it going for you now in Saudi, back in management? You enjoying it? You haven't been there that long.
It was a strange situation. I explain quickly. They called me for next year 2 or 3 clubs. And then, that things that happen in football, nobody expect. The coach of this team, my colleague, left for the national team of Saudi Arabia. And there were 7 games to go. And I talked to the president, which I was talking for the last month. And I said, President, don't worry, I'm coming from a month. And everybody was saying, are you? You don't want to maybe put an option for next year? I said, no, I'm coming for seven games. I want to see the Saudi football from the inside and know well if it's for me for next year. I'm in the same city where Brendan Rodgers is, which is a fantastic city, very easy to live. Luckily, we played very well the first game and we lost just 1-0, but now we won 2 in a row. So what it looked like a big risk is becoming a good opportunity because I want to win. So, and now we play the most beautiful game against Al Hilal on Tuesday with, the kind of Benzema, Milinko Savic, Malcolm and company. So let's see that difference between the 2 teams to know if I'm going to stay for next year or not.
Well, there'll be a vacancy at Chelsea, Gus. I don't think you managed them yet, have you? I'm just checking all your clubs.
Listen. Sometimes I got people that I think that there is people, a friend of mine, that they believe more on me because when they change coaches, they say, why not you? You manage in the Premier League, you manage in La Liga, you manage in Spain, you manage in Greece, national team of Greece, you play for Chelsea. But, it needs to be 2 sides of the story. My one, for sure, I will love it. But from the club point of view, it's a different matter.
Gus Poyet, absolutely brilliant to talk to you. I'm sure you'll be watching on with all your old clubs playing in the Premier League, Brighton, Spurs, Chelsea, but most importantly, Chelsea at the moment. Good luck against Al Hilal.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Good luck.
Top man, Gus.
Brilliant. Was that
great character as manager and player?
And what a player. I mean, 49 goals in, 145 games
just off the top of your head.
For Chelsea. No, I wrote it down, but I can't read my writing. I mean, fantastic. I mean, was it the scissors kick against your favourite team, Sunderland, where he was a terrific player. And I loved him. Wasn't his nickname Radio? Because he was always talking. He was always on.
Oh, you can...
Yeah.
I loved him as a manager as well. So much enthusiasm. Great to see you still managing at the high level.
Yeah.
And looking forward to a big game this week. This is Sunday Edition on talkSPORT with Shaun Custis and Henry Winter. Next up, we'll look ahead to Man United versus Liverpool.
Hey, Jay Trace, how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Love it to see you. You look great today. If you don't mind.
You as well, you know.
That's very kind of you.
We're the same stylist.
Have you?
We do. Yeah, we do. We're part of an agency with something, you know.
Yeah, we were very close to wearing the same.
Were you?
Yeah.
I was going to wear that. No, I was going to wear that. And instead of my hair like this, I was going to do my hair like that.
I was going to do my hair like that as well.
It makes sense.
Good. Are you good? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm very well.
Is that your own little brand then?
I wish it was my brand.
Oh, okay. Why is it double Adidas?
Oh, it's a secret, special Adidas.
Can I get them? Can normal people get them?
Yeah, of course, normal people. Hear this guy, man.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean me. I mean other people listening.
Oh, sorry. Cheeky.
What have you been up to? Last time we saw you was about 2 weeks
chilling.
ago.
Today, I went by the Adidas office, got some bits, got some clobber, so I can look good for you lot.
Can we do that?
Of course you can.
How do we do that?
Of course you can. I'll put you in touch with a guy. I know a guy. And then, came to see you guys, and I got a song dropping after this, so a busy day.
After this?
Yeah.
Literally, after this is aired, the song will come out an hour after this.
Why is it not being aired on this show?
Why can't we play it?
Yeah.
Boys, listen, we can text each other unreleased songs and we'll do all that. You know what I'm saying? You get the first preview. Yeah, but next time, definitely next time.
No. You listen. We want it on our show. Has one network got it, the first play of it?
No, they don't. I don't know who has it actually, to be honest.
Have you got it on your phone?
I do have it on my phone.
Can we play it?
It might be some profanity in there, so I don't want to get you in trouble.
Joe's fine.
Right, you like the name of the song though? The song's called Charisma.
Oh, I like that.
Has you read about me?
In Charisma the footballer?
Oh,
that's the one.
We make charisma.
No, because then it would be charisma.
You know the Travella, you know the...
Yeah, on the outside of the booth.
Yeah,
Oh,
rude.
wow, okay.
Could you do that?
Outside the booth?
Can you do that?
Yeah, not I can't do the whole... I can do outside the booth.
Not in these shoes.
Could you score like that?
Oh, no, he's outside the foot, it's different.
Different, isn't it? Different.
Half an hour left of Sunday edition with myself, Shaun, Custis and Henry Winter. We've had loads of texts and WhatsApps this morning about all sorts of different subjects. We were mentioning Dan Ballard sending off against Wolves earlier on, and that really got rave from the world going. He says, I can't believe anyone thinks it's okay to pull someone's hair when playing football. It's probably more sinister than just a hair pull. The player doing it wants a reaction from the other player. If it was me, I'd be decking that player. Oh, and by the way, I'm bald. Pulling someone's hair, straight red. Off. Cheat.
Yeah, I just think it's a fine line when you've got someone like Dan Ballard. I mean, it's very much in the.
Well, he's not our sort of player.
Yeah, well, no, it's the sort of the grappling which just strayed into the wrong postcode.
It's becoming a thing, though. But as we heard earlier, it goes right back to 1972 when Alan Clark pulled Charlie George's hair. So there, it's been around a long time. Nothing's new. As Mikel Arteta said during the week, you're not reinventing the wheel. Everything's happened before.
Respect the hair.
Quite. The latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live. Matt Ford and comedian Maisie Adams speak to Kevin De Bruyne's former personal chef, Johnny Marsh, about what it takes to fuel a World Cup player. Marsh discusses why Erling Haaland is one of the only footballers who actually looks after his own nutrition.
Do you ever cook for Erling Haaland?
No, I didn't. He cooks for himself.
He cooks for himself?
When he came over, it was like all he ate was like meat, eggs, raw milk and things like that. And I mean, it's on his YouTube channel now, I think, I'm pretty sure. So he was very on it with his stuff, and he just eats very, very simply every night. I'm pretty sure he barbecues every night as well, from what I've been told.
Barbecues?
Yeah.
This is blowing your mind, mate.
I can't imagine Erling Haaland cooking himself.
Everybody's also different as well. Like, every player was different. Like, even say pre-game, say between Kevin and Ilkay, like, Ilkay liked to eat light the day before. He wanted to feel light, whereas Kevin would have like 2 or 3 bowls of pasta. So it was like every player was different.
And with Erling Haaland, I remember him saying that his treat was a kebab meat pizza.
Kebab meat pizza.
Kebab meat pizza. Pizza where the topping is kebab meat, the way the Italians intended.
Just shavings of doner on it.
Cooking for yourself, who'd have thought it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Erling Haaland's very interesting, his YouTube channel, and he talks about the local farm that he goes to get unpasteurised milk, is it? I always get them get them mixed up, and well, it seems to work for him. Yeah, it seems to work for him.
Celebrity chef to
you are red top.
Quite. Celebrity chef to Premier League stars Johnny Marsh there on How to Win the World Cup. Available now wherever you get your podcasts and on the talkSPORT World Cup YouTube channel. On to Man United versus Liverpool. United will definitely secure top 5 with a win today. Liverpool can go level on points with United if they win. Carrick has lost 2 games in his tenure as boss. So, should he get the job full time?
Well, first talking about managerial future, producer Connor has just messaged me to say that Watford have this morning party company with head coach Ed Still. Probably not a
great finish to the season, yes.
Giving some of the fans' reaction last night.
So that didn't answer the question. Should Carrick get the job full time?
Well, I know you're slightly dismissing this game. You say it's meaningless, but
no, I didn't. I said it's one of the less meaningful.
Okay, so
between the two.
So just leading up to the Carrick
can
answer,
see this.
Biggest crowd of the weekend. The viewing figures, listening figures will be huge. We're not short of Manchester United or Liverpool ex-players in the media, so I'm sure they'll be highlighting it. Champions League, as you say. But I refer you to Andy Dunn. I can only got half of him here. If I can hold that up. Basically, he's saying it needs to be Slot needs a statement win and Carrick needs to win. Have I got that the right way round?
They both need to win. So
they both need to win, and obviously, Slot is without.
Only for themselves, though. They don't need to win for the clubs. Don't actually really need to win in this context of the Champions League qualification. I know
they're slightly tied up with the future of the clubs, i.e., the managers.
Yeah. Anyway, let's hear from Man United boss Michael Carrick himself ahead of the match.
It's a standout game, I think there's obviously big games and big rivalries that we have with other teams, but certainly this one is right up there, and the history, the ups and downs that past has produced in these type of games, and the excitement and entertainment. I think it's and the emotion, which is a huge part of it. It makes it a really special game. I think it's just that edge and that competition, really, and irrespective of league positions over the years of who's been on top at certain times or whatever, it's never really changed the feeling of the game and the emotion and the supporters. And I think it's and really appreciating what it means to the supporters. I think we have to do that. It's just a special game, to be part of, and obviously to come out on top is one of the best feelings you'll get.
I get what you're saying, Henry, about the game, and Michael Carrick saying this one's certainly right up there with all the other Man United Liverpool games. It isn't really. Let's be honest, it isn't. But I get how important it is.
It's not a title decider. I take your point on that.
I get how important it is to the fans and important to the respective
and important
managers.
To your back page.
Yes, it is. But Spurs possibly will nick that one because of where they are in the league. But yeah, I get it. But this game should there should be more riding on it, really.
Yeah, I mean, the two men in the middle, or the men in the dugout, Slot, I mean, they're going to back Slot. I completely understand that, and I think he's still got enough credit in the bank.
And do you think he's unlucky over Isak Ekitike? Are there mitigating circumstances? I'm talking about towards the end of this season.
I think they are centre-back as well. But there has been a drop-off. Some of his decisions, I mean, have annoyed elements of the Liverpool support. But I can't buy into this. Not fraud. People aren't calling it a fraud, but he has been taking a lot of criticism, and I just think that maybe you have to take a longer term perspective. But maybe the Xabi Alonso becoming free in inverted commas raised the interest of some Liverpool fans. But I think, look, he was manager of the year. I know,
but we keep saying that there are mitigating circumstances about that one as well. It was large.
But doesn't that buy a manager a bit of time?
Possibly, but when Xabi Alonso's there, and I'm sure you rate Xabi Alonso very, very highly, therefore, why should he not come into the conversation at the end of this season?
I do. Well, first, I don't believe in managerial churn within the season at elite club level.
No. Well, it's not going to happen now before the end of the season, is it? I don't think.
No. Yeah. And then, of course, for Carrick, it's important as well because he's lost 2 games in 13, 9 wins, and there seems to be more identity. I mean, Casemiro is playing really well. It's sad that he's leaving. Kobbie Mainoo is staying. It's really important that clubs have that connection, particularly a club like Manchester United, have that homegrown feel to them. They've got it. Going back to that 1920s, I think it is, in the matchday squad. It looks like their buys last summer with, you look at Cunha and Mbeumo, Sesko is beginning to feel his way in there. Lamans as well has been excellent in goal. Centre-half still, there are 1 or 2 issues there. Harry Maguire has played well, has got this extra year. Left-back, they probably need a new left-back. Aidan Heavens stepped in at centre-half. I think he looked promising. So, look, there's a lot of reasons to be positive about Manchester United. Carrick has bonded them together. You hear him in press conferences like that. He doesn't bite. He doesn't really give headlines. He doesn't say daft things like Ruben Amorim does. He's calmed it down a bit, and he absolutely deserves to be considered for the job. Unless, of course, that Luis Enrique suddenly becomes available.
Oh, so he can't have it if Luis Enrique is available. Then.
I would think if Luis Enrique became available, you would go for so. They would. So Jim Ratcliffe, with his personality, they would go for someone like him if they could get one of the big pieces. But the thing is that Carrick is available now. He obviously wants it, and they can focus on building for the future in terms of recruitment, rather than waiting for a big beast who you might not get until July the 16th, 17th.
But you're still not prepared to say whether he should get the job.
Oh, I think he should get the job.
You do.
Yeah, 100%. I think what he's done. But then also, look, I'm slightly biased because I spent time with him writing his book and all that. But then that gave me an insight into how meticulous he is and how much he cares about the club.
Did he say anything exciting in the book, by the way? Because you just said he doesn't say very exciting things. So was his book exciting? It
was exciting, actually. I think I sent you a copy, actually.
I must get around to reading it.
Well, there's some long words in there, so take your time.
Outcome of Man United Liverpool today, I'm speculating wildly on a draw.
Yeah, I am too. But I'm also speculating, not particularly wildly, is that it'll be on your back page.
Yes, it will be. It will be on the back page. But of course, you want both managers to win because you like them both and think they should still stay in a job. That's going to be tricky.
No, I think they can both stay in a job without one of them
draws
winning
best
today.
for them. Yeah, draws best for both.
Yeah,
for both to stay in. Anyway. Man United 1, Liverpool 1, that's what I say. Next up, we'll finish by looking at a huge week for Nottingham Forest.
Sam and Jordan singing your praises. That's
Yeah,
nice. He
very
doesn't
nice.
do that with many people, mate. He really doesn't.
I always have a little spar. We have a little sparring match.
Look, I mean, Burnley have got to have a great chance of bouncing straight back next season again. And at the moment, the bookies have got Steven Gerrard and Craig Bellamy both in the frame. What are your thoughts?
Well, Craig Bellamy obviously worked under Vincent Company there, so he'll know the people involved and, you know, the ownership and the likes and the feel of the club. Stevie G, I mean, look, you know, does he want to go back in at that level? Does he want to? I mean, it's only an hour and a quarter from where he's from. I mean, if you're going to do it like Frank has at Coventry, go into a good concern, and that is a good concern. There's no, I mean, I question the idea of doing the same model and it not working, but that doesn't mean that in the Championship they've got it wrong. Because let's face it, they've gone straight back up again. So I do think there'll be money available. I do think they'll retain some good players there. Certainly, with all due respect, Championship players who know the Championship, who can do the job in the Championship, and they might bounce back stronger. So I get why that would be an attractive proposition even for Stevie G. I know he's a world famous player and stuff, but he's up and down with the management thing. Been over in Qatar, obviously. A lot made of that. Comes back. Is he ready to go again? And a good platform for him, I feel. I'm bound to say that. I'm biased towards Burnley, of course.
This is Sunday Edition. Myself, Shaun, Custis and Henry Winter. We're with you for another quarter of an hour, and Henry's going to reiterate the news that we heard just before the break.
The Watford have this morning parted company with head coach Ed Steele, and judging by the reaction of Watford fans on social media, they were basically saying, why was he appointed in the first place? And certain people at the club need to look at themselves in terms of recruitment of coaching, and the anger that was online, on phone-ins, recently has absolutely led to this and reflected the concerns that fans have and about the appointment process.
Ed, no longer still there. What is it about Watford that makes them sack manager every 5 minutes, appoint new ones, give them about 5 games, and off they go? I accept he hasn't finished the season very well, but
ownership model
worked for a while, didn't it?
Yeah,
worked for a little bit, but they've lost that feeling of the community club a little bit now.
I think you can still be a community club, but have question marks over the boardroom and their antics, some might say.
On to Nottingham Forest now. They lead 1-0 against Villa after their Europa League semi-final. Play Chelsea away tomorrow in the league, still fighting against relegation. We thought we'd get the view of our unbiased news and sport reporter, Max Scott, who actually isn't really unbiased. He's a proper Forest fan. We asked him just before he had Forest tattoos, but he does have a tribute to Nottingham on your left shoulder.
I do, yeah. I'm not going to get it out. Yeah, it's not sort of like the face of Ryan Yates or Morgan Gibbs White. It's just a little sort of River Trent tribute. But yeah.
So Max,
not for your eyes, I'm afraid, Shaun.
You are a very keen talkSPORT reporter and very keen to go to watch Nottingham Forest, obviously, as fan and as a journalist as well. What have you made of this season? Roller coaster times.
It has been a roller coaster. Interestingly, I was speaking to Jeff Stelling and Sean Dyche on Friday morning after the game, and Sean Dyche was sort of trying to tell me that it's not been a difficult season, which I found quite interesting, because having 4 managers in one season isn't enjoyable, particularly when you know how low a club like Forest, with, yes, it's a long time ago, but a massive history. We know how bad it can be. We've been in League One, found it really difficult to get out of there. We were out of the Premier League for 23 years, so it has been a really tough season, particularly when, and I've only been to one away European game, but when there are fans spending thousands of pounds following the club in Europe, the Premier League season, maybe up until just recently, maybe just up until that 5-0 win at Sunderland, it's taken away a bit of the shine off. It's taken some of the shine off that European journey, because you're constantly in this sort of state of existential worry about what could happen to your club. You look at what's happened to Luton, in particular, our rivals just across the road in Leicester. We know how bad it can get. So it has been a tough season, but Vitor Pereira's come in and brought a freshness, given players like Morgan Gibbs White real freedom, and I think we're seeing the fruits of that, scoring goals and winning games.
But you're saying it's terrible we've had 4 managers, but I bet every time one of those managers was there, you're thinking, we've got to get rid of this one, we need somebody new in, or we'll get relegated.
Not me personally,
Right,
no.
who did you want to keep then?
Well, I thought it was harsh on Shaun Dyche. If you looked at the win percentage, I think we were sort of 10th, 12th if the season had started when Shaun Dyche appeared. He had a 33% win percentage, which probably would have seen us stay in the Premier League. But towards the end, it was clear, and it's been reported widely. And I think, he's even spoken to you, Henry, about sort of some of the players not being happy with his methods. That's a separate conversation. But I think in hindsight, the appointment of Vitor Pereira has been very good. We've seen the best from some of our top players, who were lacking. Morgan Gibbs-White, I think, is playing himself almost onto the plane for the World Cup, you would think.
Just what England need, another outstanding number 10. Can I just ask about you and your generation? Because you will have grown up with all this narrative, not narrative, reality, of Forest champions of Europe. But you wouldn't have seen that. How has that legacy been passed on to you, and how do you feel it? And is Europe even more important?
Yeah. What, than the Premier League?
No, just in your life, because you weren't there. Because people of my generation, I can remember those European Cups, and they were iconic moments on television. I'm not a Forest fan, but you will have had that passed on to you.
Henry, that in my lifetime growing up as a Forest fan, I'm 33 next week, there was this huge dissonance between the club I was told that we supported and the club I saw on the pitch. For years, absolute disarray on the pitch, playoff heartache, relegation to League One. And so it was a really sort of bizarre feeling of pride in seeing the trophies in the Stadium Museum, which at the time was absolutely tiny, seeing those things and believing that in your heart, because as we all know, football's tied up in family and relationships, and there's that sense of community. I personally feel that more than I do stats and XG and what.
Good man.
Well, that's the way I see the game. And so for me, it was really important. And therefore, last Thursday, even though it's only half-time, winning at home in a European semi-final at the City Ground, for the first time in 42 years, by the way, was so special. And to savour that moment and be with the fans was amazing. Now, if you ask me what would I take, a European trophy or Premier League survival, I know that not every Forest fan agrees, but for me, I would take Premier League survival.
No,
because it is so important.
Trophies. Have you met Wigan fans?
Yeah, I have met Wigan fans, and I bet they're absolutely miserable at the minute, sort of being in and around League One.
But they still had the greatest day of their life.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Of course they did. What I wanted from this season was for Forest to just coast in 12th. That's all I was asking for, and then to be in this position where winning a European trophy, and it still would be our main focus. But we are distracted now because we've got to play Chelsea tomorrow, and then 3 days later we've got a second leg against Villa. For me, it is an existential crisis if the club get relegated, because you do not know what happens.
Sorry to talk over you, but what happens if Spurs lose today? Does that take a little bit of the heat?
Of course it does. I think if Spurs lose today, it'd be wonderful for Nottingham Forest, not for Spurs fans, many of which are my mates. And so, you don't wish that on people. But yeah, being in the Premier League is absolutely vital for this football club. Absolutely vital.
You can't get to mine and Henry's age and sit down with your children or your grandchildren or whatever and go, oh, let me tell you about 2026.
Shaun, I take your point. Shaun, I take your point.
Show us the pictures, Dad or Granddad. Oh, look at this.
Look at the table.
Look at the table. 17th. Wasn't that great? It's trophies, for goodness sake. Greatest day of my football supporting life.
Well, it could both happen.
Carabao Cup. Yes, it could. And do you know what? I wouldn't have cared less if we'd been relegated at the end of that season. Carabao Cup.
I bet you would. It's such an easy thing to say.
It's not
away from
it. It's not easy.
It is, Shaun, because you're still in the Premier League. You've been in the Champions League this season.
Yes, but we've also been relegated twice relatively recently in my lifetime. And I take the cup every time. I find that astonishing. And also, we grew up with Forest winning the European Cup and the league title. And believe me, that was probably a bigger miracle than Leicester City. That is probably the biggest miracle of our lifetime in club football. Sensational. And you were reminded of it constantly when you'd go back to Forest. They had a carpet at Forest as you walked through the front door, and it had European Cups on it, and it was starting to look pretty shabby by the time we were going there covering, and it reminded you what that club was all about.
And it's
how amazing it was. Because the carpet's not still there, is it? It can't be.
No, the carpet's not still there. There's been a lot of renovation going on in recent years.
Honestly, it really reminded you, and what a
And Shaun, I'm not saying, by the way, I don't obviously I don't want to win it. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying if I had to choose, and because that's been the question that mates in the office are putting to me, it's been the question I've asked on air. If it and getting relegated, would you take it? And I would say I'd rather stay in the Premier League. But what I will say is that we're 2 games away from being in the Champions League next season, right? And this could still be the most special season at the football club in more than a generation. And I'm starting to believe that it could happen because under Vitor Pereira, as I say, there is this brand new lease of life.
You climbed up on the roof of Trent Bridge. I saw your report on YouTube.
It was all legal, by the way.
But yeah, no, that's fantastic.
What for? Was he watching the cricket?
No, he was watching. He was doing a very impressive drone height overview of events at City Ground on Thursday night. But would you do that if it was a game to celebrate staying up?
No, of course I wouldn't.
There you go. So Europe matters.
Of course, I didn't say it didn't matter. I said if I was given a choice...
You're boxed in here, Matt.
If I was given a choice between winning the Europa League or staying in the Premier League, I'd stay in the Premier League. It's so important. My best memory at one point, for about 29 years of my life, was a final day promotion from League One when we pipped Doncaster Rovers and I got on the pitch, right? I have been bereft, living off breadcrumbs of my dad and my family friends going to watch Forest in Europe. That's all I had about pride in my club, if you like. And to be in the Premier League is so important financially for the football club and for the future.
I've got a quote right in here on WhatsApp. I'm a Birmingham City fan, and being able to see my team win a cup is the greatest achievement I think ever for my club. I didn't care about the past 15 years. I've seen my team win a cup and seen them play in Europe. Silly Forest fan, he finishes off.
Hey, look, it's a game of opinions, isn't it?
It's a game of opinions.
Yeah. But the fact
yours is wrong.
But the fact that your dad has got those memories of the 2 European trophies. But the fact is, if you got that memory of a European trophy, okay, it's a...
I really want Forest to win the Europa League. Can I just say, I really want Forest to win the Europa League. It would be absolutely amazing. You know, it's not one or the other, right? I'm just saying, for me, and the club's stated ambition, you know, in recent press conferences, the priority is staying in the Premier League. Right. So I'm not out on a whim on this. You know?
Right, Max, just quickly then, which game are you looking forward to most? Chelsea away tomorrow or Forest against Villa in the week?
Well, next game up, Chelsea Forest.
What will the score be? Do you think you'll get to the Europa League final?
It's going to be tough. Unai Emery's.
Come on, man! You don't have to go. You don't have to go back to unbiased news report.
No, I think we can. But we're against a master here. He's won it 4 times, and Villa Park's going to be an absolute cauldron. So I'm not going to sit here, you know, cock of the north, confident. Of course we're going to do it. They're a good team, and I know they're under a bit of pressure at the minute. Of course, I believe Forest can do it. We're absolutely flying. We scored sort of 11 goals in the past few games. So yeah, of course we can.
Should Elliot Anderson be playing?
Yes.
After that challenge?
Yeah.
Well, you thought it was a legitimate... The one on Ollie...
He got the ball first, and unfortunately he went into Ollie Watkins afterwards.
Yeah.
Time to move on, gents. We look forward to have Nottingham Forest get on and bringing Max back in at the end of the season to go, yeah, we were 17th. Fantastic. Aston Villa v Forest is a Europa League semi-final second leg. That'll be presented by Natalie Sawyer. Commentary from Jim Proudfoot and former Villa captain Andy Townsend. That's it from us here on Sunday Edition. Up next, it's the warm-up with Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning.